Right, hello YouTube. Welcome back to some more Kerbal Space Program. And welcome back to our ongoing Grand Tour mission. Yes, we're doing a bit of a round trip around all the planets in the dual system. Dual, I guess, local solar system. So, last time we landed on Tylo successfully and we came back, as opposed to the events of the lost episode 47 even. I think I called it 37 and a little bit I made to be like, hey, where's the episode? Which I realised a bit too late. Anyway, regardless, next up on our list to visit is Bop. So we have to go make an encounter to go travel out there. Now, I'm not quite sure. I've never really done transferring between moons of the system. I don't know whether you actually use the advanced transfer to another planet thing. After 13 days? Yeah, that seems to be... No, perhaps not, because it's not even working. Is that because it's too low? Do I have to be closer to the planet? No, okay, I don't think that's going to work. So what we'll in fact do is we'll do... If we do a maneuver at Apoaps to kick ourselves out of sort of influence of Tylo. It might not be quite how I planned to do that, but I think that'll work. We did gauge for Delta V. We do have a little extra because we what do you call it? Because we lost some weight, we shed a good 30 tons when we oh, sorry, my brain is failing me this morning. We lost 30 tons when we returned the lander with no fuel on board. Oh shoot, I have just realised as well. No, we should be okay because we can land it on those solar panels. I was gonna say we need to. Oh no, we can't. And we might have to reload, even though it's very low on fuel. We might have to transfer some fuel over from the other. In fact, well, yeah, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna transfer some fuel over from the other lander. So I just realised we still need the mining drills, and we can't extend the panels on this one because we need those for lathe. So in fact, what we're going to have to do is transfer a little bit of fuel over from the lathe lander, and this should better balance the craft a little bit anyway. Transfer it, maybe half a tank. That should be enough to land on a bot. Yes, I suppose for those of you who haven't sort of seen how this has been going so far, it has been a mostly successful trip, but we have encountered a few problems. The first is power. This is our biggest one. We are not getting very much out here, and this craft is quite power hungry. The engine takes 5,000 units of power to restart because we've got a fancy fusion engine. The reaction wheels take up a fair bit, although we can use monopropellant sometimes to assist. And the radiators take up a fair bit. And I think maybe this uses some. I know definitely this scanner does. So we do have to be a little bit careful about when we use our power and when we save it and recharge. And we're going to miss this maneuver. We're going to have to go around for a second orbit. So we're going to want the warp helper. Yeah, this episode will hopefully be our landing on Bop. And there is something I would like to see there. And if I can, I will take us out there to go and see it. Now, I believe Bop's gravity is very low. I haven't got the DV readout up at the exact moment because I've got the coordinates for the thing I want to go and see up instead. Right. Okay, we are recharging power at least. So the burn time will be 6 minutes 11 seconds. So that would be 3 minutes 5 seconds, which would be 185. So we'll do 190. Quick save and take it away, Mectib. Oh, it thinks we missed it because we did it on the other side. Because we're on the wrong side. I said, could just wait until the next go around. To go too far off, we just need enough to technically have left the SOI. That'll be fine. 5 minutes 45. Yeah, we'll just do it at the same time. It should be fine. In fact, we'll do it 180. I think that still works out about right. Hoffman transfer mode for later. But yes, as usual, I'll probably be just pausing the video while we're doing the burns. They're not interesting to watch particularly, but here we go. Radiators out. Engine activated. And yes, this is our, as I said, this is our fusion pulse engine. Whoa, what's going on? Oh, what happened? Are we still controlling from the right place? Control from here? No, we weren't. Oh, we were probably on the lander. Okay, we'll let it use a bit of minor propellant to get itself stabilised. We'll still try and burn from here. Notice our electric charge is draining very fast to It's fine, recharge at full speed to recharge the engine. Okay, reactivate the engine. It's a good thing this maneuver doesn't have to be precise. Right. After that slightly eventful start, which hopefully will not go wrong because this is looking a little bit awkward, I will get back to you guys in a moment. Alright, so we're returning mid-burn. You might notice an issue. We're still off course. Yeah, we are now horrendously off balance. The rocket is very, very off balance now. And it is really showing. It is skewing heavily. I'm having to burn a lot of RCS fuel to keep us pointed straight. What I think I'm going to have to do, because doing it manually would take ages and I wouldn't be very good at it, I'm going to have to, after this recording, once we've done this burn, because we're going to run out of minor propellant if we have to keep doing this, I'm going to go off, I'm going to find the old, I believe it's TAC fuel balancer mod that will automatically pump it to balance out the weight of the craft, and I'm going to install it, because I think we're going to need it, basically. It is, if I turn the RCS off, it's okay for a short time, but then it will heavily start to skew to the side because the landers aren't balanced weight-wise anymore. And our thrust to weight is getting to be enough that it's actually that's actually being a problem. So yeah, not ideal, but I had a feeling it might happen. We will still be down the additional weight of the landers. It's not all bad, but yeah, it's still, that thrust is still firing. It's definitely that side that's most off. But yeah, we'll be back in a moment. I'll do this burn, and then between this burn and arriving at the next place, I'll install Fuel Balancer and I'll show it off, because I might as well also show off some of the mods that are available for this game. Man, this is not how this is supposed to go, and I have a feeling we're going to burn a lot of minor propellant. Mind you, not the end of the world, because as long as we can get our lander away, we can refuel, because we can use our refueling systems to refill that, basically. But yeah, so I'll see you guys again in a moment. Okay, and we're back. I have installed TAC. I have also, oh dear, having recently discovered it, recovered my cough. No, I've recently discovered the Community Fixes mod as well, which I'd somehow missed before. And that actually does seem to provide some performance increases, so I've also installed that. Let's recreate our maneuver. Let us try TAC out. So, I believe it is this button. Balance all, balance all. Assume. Yep. Oh, it's all the resources on our craft, I see. RCS, balance all. Oh, we're at power. What is draining power? Those are just our reaction wheels. Might just be our reaction wheels, actually. Oh, less pumping fuel takes power? Don't think it does. By the way, yes, it does appear to be balancing out the reserves quite neatly, and this should mean that we no longer have the problem of our crafts being off balance. Which obviously is good, because we've seen what happens when it is. Oh, I think it's just the sun being at a bad angle for us at the moment. But we still seem to be in control. That's the main thing. Oh, the radiator reactors? The radiators are out. That's why we're losing so much power. Yeah, trap those in. We don't need those yet until we do the burn. Yeah, I had to actually stop the burn midway. We were using so much monopropellant. I was afraid we weren't gonna that we literally were going to run out and we weren't going to be able to make the maneuver. 80 seconds is going to be right for that burn time. Right, I believe we can warp. Yeah, I'll go to lose power as soon as the this maneuver's done, because it's going to use up too much from the fusion engine, but that's fine. Recharging, so it's gonna the craft's gonna be without power for a while it while it recharges. And yes, I wanted to leave this bit in just to check it was definitely working. You might notice we are staying balanced. We're not wandering this time. Excellent. Okay, that's going to make things a lot easier, and we'll still have enough fuel to land. I have realised it's not actually so important that we're actually able to have a decent amount of fuel for any of the landings now. As long as we have 800 Delta V on the Val landing, that's kind of the only one where it matters. And then beyond that point, the lathe landing we do on parachute, it's just having enough fuel to come back is the important bit there. But yeah, so I'll probably... You guys have seen Hoffman transfers, right? You know how it works. What I'll do is I will skip ahead until we are ready to do our landing at Bop. I think that'll be the next interesting bit to see. So yeah, back in a moment. Okay, and we're... oh, this flipping cough. Every time. I think I need to grab a drink. Probably before I do the next bit. But yes, we're back. We're at Bop. It's not the most interesting planet to look at. It's kind of a lumpy brown potato, but... Oh, shoot, I just realised I need to actually activate the engine. But yes, we do our deceleration burn. It's not a big one, so I'm happy to record through this one. But yes, no real problems. It's fairly standard. Hoffman transfer to Hoffman burn to get us out here. Burn retrograde once we got into the sphere of influence. We did have to do a fine-tuned burn, but that went perfectly fine. Yeah. We are at Bop. So in a moment, I have loaded up this craft with all the things we need. I did notice Val was holding it, but I moved it over to Doe for it. We had a goo monitor in Val's inventory, which means that was a goo monitor that was supposed to have been deployed on Tylo. So whoops. Oh shoot, we actually need to push our altitude up. I overburned. So I was busy talking to you guys. Yeah, use some monopropellant. Whoops. Yeah, no, we can't afford to crash into the planet, obviously. Of course, we end up on the one path that takes us straight through a mountain. Well, that'd be cool. A cool landing. Could time it perfectly. I don't really want to try and land this whole thing, or one of the small bits on a mountain. But yes, there is, again, as mentioned, something here that I really want to show you guys. So we'll show that off when we get a chance. I have been taking science readings where I can. I should also mention that we have been gaining science from the base stations on Tylo. They are working. The lab is still running, although it's not generated the full thing of science yet, but I think we've got a half of one. Yeah. Yeah, about 258. In fact, I might transmit now while we've got a connection, while I'm thinking about it. Okay, reactivating fusion drive. Let's just... Oh. Yeah, well, it's a bit of a rough orbit, but we'll take that. 35 by 27, that's fine. Right. Kill rotation. And let us... Quick save. And let's go for landing. We'll just keep the same crew on board the lander. I think it's easier. How do I remember how to undock this? I know we definitely want to control from here. We've also remembered the EVA science kit this time, which we had a bad habit of forgetting before. Put it away. Now we... Yeah, as I said, I don't know quite how much Delta V we'll have. But it looks pretty reasonable, actually. We've got about 1,500, which should be okay, considering we could refuel on the ground. That should be plenty to make sure we can return, as long as we find a site with some ore, but it's really not going to matter where we find, because we're going to land there anyway. We're going to land at a certain spot anyway. So, we need the landing guns, and I'm hoping this area is flat. It looks like it should be. Enter target coordinates. We will be landing at 68, 25, 48 north. We'll be landing at 117 by 1 by 48 east. I'll just double check we've got that correct. 68, 25, 48 north. 117, 148 west. No, east. East, okay. Which is there, apparently. Yes, that might use a little bit of fuel to get to, but the Delta V requirements around here are low. So as long as we can land, we should be fine. I believe we only need something like a 200-300 Delta V to land on Bop, so we should be plenty fine. Also, deploy the landing legs early, just in case. Yeah, make sure they still work. They shouldn't be oxidizing or anything, but they have been set in space for a very long time. Make sure the joints haven't caked up or anything. Not that that's a thing that could actually happen in this game, but you know. Definitely allow auto warp. I do not want to be waiting through this manually. If we do smash into any mountains, we might have to quick revert, but I think we should be okay now. I'll go to quick save now while I'm thinking about it, because I don't want us to smash into any mountains if we can avoid it. Yeah, hopefully, I don't know where our ship is, but hopefully we'll leave its... That's quite close, actually. Yeah, hopefully we'll leave its render distance soon, and we'll get to watch the frame rate improve. So actually shut the docking port while we're going. We don't really want any micrometeorites or whatever smashing it. So we'll have a little bit of realism on this trip. I guess we'll have to shut it once we actually get in towards landing. There's the shield. There we go. Yeah, it's going to have to... It's 150-ish Delta V to adjust that thing. I don't think we'll even bother trying to launch the rendezvous. I think what we'll do is just launch on that inclination and then just have the rendezvous autopilot sort it, because I think it's going to be an awful encounter anyway. Oh! Yeah, it would help if we could use the main engine, wouldn't it? Save them on a propellant boat. Pulsing to try and... I don't know why it's pulsing so much, but it is adjusting our... Oh, it might be because it's trying to keep up. What's vessel weight at this point? 50 tons. So we've got about 20 tons of fuel on board. On board even at the moment. Yeah, our actual total weight might even go up by the time we return to the main craft to balance the fuel out again. I'm impressed by TAC fuel balancer. That worked perfectly. No issues at all with that. Good mod. Well done. In terms of this episode length, I don't know how long we've really been going at this point. I suppose not actually that long, because we've because I suppose you guys haven't seen most of what I've just been doing. Yeah, I much as I like the idea of like showing a lot of like the missions, like try to show most of it and be like, hey, here's all the stuff we did. I also could very much appreciate this. Like, you guys don't need nor probably want to see a lot of the very routine stuff where we keep doing similar things. Like, you've kind of seen how we get around between planets and things at this point. Once we get some more impressive technology, and we might well do after this trip, because I believe we've already gathered a fair bit of science, then I'll be showing it off. We might even get as far as warp by the end of the series, even though we've only got one sort of main mission to do after this. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, I'd like to do something a bit different after this series. I'm thinking, well, the plan at the moment, it was Stormworks, and then I'm like, no, you know what? Stormworks got a big update coming out that isn't out yet, so we'll wait for that. We'll do that series later, and we'll do the For the Depths campaign, because I'd like to have a proper crack at the campaign. It's still not something I've ever tried really trying hard to do. And I think it could be fun. And also, apparently, you guys like it because it's still the highest viewed video on the channel. It's still the From the Depths review by a long shot. And I really used to like that game, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I should play it again. It's been too long. I should play it again and have a really good crack at it. I'll probably do it on normal difficulty, much as some people be like, oh, it's not that difficult. It's like I've already struggled enough on the difficult with that game that I'm like, yeah, I might start a little easier, and then if that goes really well, maybe season 2. Who knows? But the devs definitely know what they're doing or the community that designed them knew what they were doing when they made some of the hardest crafts, and they are nightmarishly strong. And I'd rather not, maybe rather not face those if I could help it. Yeah, the godly craft are not called that without reason. Right. And the bit where we do have to be careful with the landing, of course, is once we start to get close, because we know what MechJev's like with his autopilot and smashing me into the ground. Speaking of exactly that, oh, there it is. You can see it. That's what we were looking for. But what could it be? Well, you'll find out in a moment. Looks like the lander's coming down perfectly fine. Now, the only slight thing might be if we land on it, which is entirely possible. MechJev can be very precise, but target difference a few hundred meters, we should be okay. It's looking a bit bigger. It's sort of green, vaguely splattish. I wonder if the model's changed, actually. It doesn't look quite the same as I remember it being, but... because I have been here once, way back, before even a lot of the stuff that's even in the game. What's this? It's a bit like a watermelon with some squiggly bits on it. Looks like we're going to be landing pretty close, but not directly on it. That's fine, actually. That's probably better, if anything. But the landing is going off without a hitch. We might even be able to re-rendezvous on this much fuel, but I'm not going to risk it. I'm still going to run the refueling systems. Yes, I do remember. The only other thing I do remember we had an issue with that specifically was the electricity. So I'll probably do the same thing again. I don't think you guys would judge me too harshly for that. It's like I could, obviously, just keep letting it run, like while there's daylight, then shutting it down once it runs out of power and restarting. But really, I mean, is it making any difference? It would just take longer, and that really doesn't matter in the case of our mission. We don't have anything that makes it time dependent. I guess aside from the, like, what, 29 years that are only, like, maybe 8 into. Like, it's not going to be an issue. We're still going to be wet back easily on time, and I'm not even sure there is an expiry date. I think that was just the contract can't be taken after that point, and would probably have been replaced by another one anyway. Oh, look at that. Beautiful landing. No trouble at all. And yes, we are near our target. Yeah, looking a bit creaturey now, isn't it, at this distance? So notice those rocks are a little bit interesting, actually, in some ways. Right, deploy all except EVA. Let's run our science. Still nothing. Definitely just a space rock. For the pressure scan, observe the goo. Could you have a chemical reaction with the surface of Bop? That's fascinating, although you haven't told me what the reaction is. Temperature. Does not appear to be any major signs of activity on Bop. Yeah. The sensor is giving odd readings here. Yes, I'll imagine. I would imagine so. Right. Quick save. Collect all. Also do a crew report. Right. Val. You may set foot on a strange alien world. It is lagging really hard all of a sudden. Jesus Christ, what? Why is it lagging so hard? We're already on Bop. Oh, that's annoying. Ugh. Why is it lagging? It was fine a minute ago when we were in the craft. Is it you? Is this your fault? It might well be, considering what that is. Right, anyway, we'll try and go about our business. I might build the base station off camera if it's going to be lagging like this, because Jesus. I do not know why it's this bad. It was fine a moment ago. Right, Bop landing. Right. There's something weird over there. It's making the crew uncomfortable. Despite being a good landing spot, I'm not so sure about this place. We'll leave it to the scientist. We'll leave it to the scientist to get the EVA report, but I think Val is our goal for going over and having a look at whatever that is. As you might have noticed, this is a planet where the gravity is low enough for jetpacks to be perfectly viable. I am actually kind of curious about that. I'm guessing it's a natural rock formation, but having never really been to Bop, aside from way back, I actually don't know. Why is it lagging so badly? Have we just done too much? Is this save just getting too big? Shouldn't be the memory leak, because we've got the community fix on. That should be stopping some of the problems, if anything. Although maybe it's causing something. I think it's like a little rocky ridge. But yes. In fact, this is our good old friend, the causer of lag, random disasters, and chaos himself. It's a Kraken. It's a baby one, potentially. It is also slightly dead, I believe. Yep, there. There, his eyes falling off. Cute little fella, isn't he? But yes, this has been in the game for years, this Easter egg. I remember I literally sailed out a replica Yamato, space battleship Yamato to fire a wave motion gun at it. I can't remember if there was any success. Can I take a surface sample of him? No, it's just a surface sample of the poles. EVA report? No, okay, we'll leave it to the scientist. Still, it's there. We'll leave Val out here. Oh. Oh, it's just the Kerbals. The craft is fine. It's just Val that's lagging like crazy. What? Oh, that's weird. Right, anyway. Yeah, Bill, you're going to want to deploy one of the solar panels. Okay, that'll have to do it. Okay, Dofrod to do the rest. Yeah, the Kerbals are just lagging like crazy on the planet's surface. What the heck? Is that something I did? Have I missed something? Oh, he doesn't have his jetpack. Right. Bonk. Also need to remember to actually extend that all the way. We shouldn't have any more bonk head on land or explode issues because we've raised it. Right. Deploy mode. Oh, that's his parachute. I was going to say. Deploy what? Right, so we need Bill to deploy the 2 solar panels. So we'll have him go and do that. Let's grab the other one. Yeah, I think with this lag, I'll deploy it off camera and then I'll come back when it's done. I'd like to do this on screen, but for whatever reason, the Kerbals are really lagging my game out. So, back in a moment. Hi. Just checking in early. I wanted to... There's a few things have happened. First of all, this. I have no idea what this is. It's definitely a 3D position manipulator, but why it is here or what it is here for, I do not know. Second of all, wow, indeed. I think I've typed that by accident. Yeah, I have no idea what this is trying to tell me, but there are a lot of the same error. So I'm guessing that could be something to do with whatever's causing the lag. But, yeah, I don't know. That's all I had to report. I don't know why that's happening. But apparently it is a thing that is. So, yeah. Weird. Anyway, like I say, back in a moment when I've finished deploying the surface station and got everyone back on board. And we'll head to the next planet. Alright, update. I think it was something that got open that wasn't supposed to be. I haven't finished the ground station. I figured I can actually do it on camera now. I went back to the... reverted back to the Space Center. Well, not reverted, but I went back to the Space Center. Because figured, okay, if it's something that I've accidentally opened in level, that'll probably close it. And then if I also delete a ton of debris, because we had actually quite a lot building up in orbit, maybe that'll improve performance. And yeah, it seems to be butter smooth at the moment. It seems to be no issues at all. So yeah, I guess whatever it was, that seems to have helped. I noticed that little widgety thing is not there anymore. So I'm guessing it was some kind of widget got open that wasn't supposed to be open. That was causing problems. Tell you what we can do. Yeah, let's have Dofrod get out. Dofrod, time to start building the space setup, the science setup. Whoops. Right, no way. No jetpack. Can't fit the jetpack in his inventory at the moment. But he can do some other stuff. He can do some science reports, and he can start setting up the base stations. So, everyone ready for golf on Bop? Sounds like, I don't know what it sounds like, but it sounds like a thing. Right. EVA science. No, it's not. He's found a banana. A green banana, which he's going to hit with a... I see. Fascinating. So that's the same as ever. Rigorous testing of the new low-temperature snack technology did not go as well as planned and deserves further study. Oh, so they're trying to, like, develop a snack that can withstand the cold, I guess. It's not quite there yet. Surface is very brown and lumpy. You poke at it with your glove and notice how hard it is. It's made out of some kind of hard rock, I guess. EVA science? No, we've done that. Surface sample. Brown dust stains all the parts of your suit that comes into contact with. It's apparently quite amusing to flight control. Cool. Okay. And first things first. The goo canister that was meant to go down on Tylo. You ended up a little ways from intended location, my friend, but don't worry, you'll still be useful. Oh yeah, we need to keep the inventory open, don't we? Because we're going to need to shuffle things around. One thing the community pack does do is condense these menus, or let you condense them, which I'm a little torn on. It does make things easier to find, but it can also be a little bit of a pain. It's a bit unusual. Because it's like, oh, where is that kind of thing? Like, is that thing I actually need? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have enough space to have a jetpack as well, so I think we're just going to be climbing up the ladder and picking stuff up. Like I say, this is the sort of bit I'm happy to do on camera. Getting this all set up and checking it's all working, but I didn't want to do it while it was lagging like that. I didn't really want to even play while the lag's like that. That's why I reverted in the first place, but... Right, so does this automatically connect itself? Because it wasn't connected to anything, right? Oh, connected, yeah. It actually automatically connected itself once the control station's up and running. Nice. I think we could jump into that, right? If we... Oh. Or we could jump right over it and look like a Muppet. Or look like a Kerbal anyway. Oh, he's having so much fun with it. How can I be mad? Look at that face. Yeah. That's looking into the sun there as well. Yeah, good shot in the background, actually. Oh! Right, he did fall quite a long way, I suppose. It's fine. They're nice and bouncy Kerbals. They get back up. Yeah, you got to be careful with your jumps on low gravity worlds. You really do go a astonishingly long way. Yeah, good view. I'm guessing that's Val. That's Tylo, I guess. And that's Lathe. Pole would be further out, I guess, but I haven't got a clue where it is. Pole's around here somewhere. That's one of the other ones we've got to go to. In fact, that's the next one we're going to. And that'll probably be the next episode. We'll be going to Pole. But that will be the next episode as long as nothing weird happens here. Still got to do the docking to return, but the only thing I'm getting with these episodes is, while they're not getting any longer for you guys, they are for me getting a lot longer to record, because there's a lot more stuff happening in between. Although... if the frame rate is this much better on the main lander, that won't take so long. It could be that debris building up was really starting to have an effect on things, because it is notably better, I think, even than it was before. So maybe that's all it was. Maybe it was just too much space debris building up, and it was just starting to get in the way of everything. Right. Communications antenna. Or in other words, device what for? For sending data back, like what? Yo, I don't even know what I'm saying. Oh god, there's just gonna be it's just gonna be fragments of frozen space banana all over the place for now, isn't there? Just forever. Communications dish. I don't know if these have a range or whether they can just always talk to Kerbin as long as you have one and there's a... I don't even know if they need line of sight, honestly. Connection state connected. I guess it's talking to Kerbin. Or it's talking to the control station. I genuinely couldn't tell you. That's annoying. Be able to, like, if you accidentally hop, you have to, like, slow walk, because otherwise they can overshoot the ladder. Okay. That is a little bit annoying, to say the least. Only 2 more to go. Alright, seismometer. I suppose by any miracle you could fit both in your inventory. No, too big. It probably is a realistic size for the inventory, but man, I wish they could carry a bit more. Or could just, like, drop them. Because it is low gravity, right? It would be probably fine to just, like, unload them and just drop them to the ground. They probably wouldn't break. It's probably a good thing that they don't, but still. You get what I mean. So, seismometer. Yeah, let us keep an eye. If that Kraken starts moving, you're going to be the machine that can let us know. You know, just in case. He is missing an eyeball, and he certainly looks dead, but gotta be a little bit careful. If anything, we seem to have balanced or banished his influence just by performing that wonderful purification rite of cleaning up a bunch of debris, apparently. Right. Deploy. I think all modules are working. Connected, 80%. Connected. Obviously, we know that's running. Connected, 80%. Connected, 80%. We are good. Definitely got everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's everything. Come on. I'm going to slalom a bit. Come on. Ladder's right there. You can do it, boy. Hondo Frog. You're one of our top scientists. You can do this. I have realised as well, we should probably see if we can level up the crew. I can't remember if I did that in the last episode, but you can level them up from the lab. And I'm like, hey, they've actually been to quite a few planets at this point. They might be able to just straight up level. Right, so we can board. Yeah, we should specifically have the science module collect everything. Okay, already stored, I think. Right. Next up, radiators. And drills. Alright, quick save. Let's see how these drills work. How much ore are we getting, and how quickly we're running out of power. Yeah, pretty good rate of ore. 0.1 a second is not at all bad. Yeah, so this is what we do, where we do what we've done before. Because of course... Oh, I don't like that. Oh, is that some of the lag back? Turning that on. Okay. Because of course, we would be able to do this. We would just have to keep shutting the drills down, turning them back on, and you guys don't want to be sat here for that. I'm going to consider this one of these points where it's acceptable to cheat a little bit just to speed things up. Oh, and we now need to start activating the IRSU. Liquid fuel oxidizer. Now we let it work. Monopropellant is full. Monoprop. Let the tanks refuel themselves. Okay, reactivate. Right, I can't do it because it's not quite balanced. Right, liquid fuel. Right. This is where we can turn off infinite electricity. Shut down the drills. Shut down the refinery. Jettison the ore. Don't need it. We are back up to our full 3k delta V. Excellent. This step of the mission is, apart from the lag, that is now solved. I did notice the cheat window thing was definitely causing some issues. I wonder if it has something selected that's not supposed to. Right, that'll be our target, but we're not going to bother trying to do a rendezvous with it because I'm not sure we're going to get one. We're miles off its that's not what I wanted. We're miles off where we're supposed to be with that. So target apoap's sort of about 30, I think. Inclination. 68 degrees. That's fairly high, but it's fine. We'll do with it. And enable auto warp and go. Let's go. Should not be too difficult at all. Oh. I must have done that for some fine-tuning maneuvers. We'll turn it down as we burn. I think 25% is actually not a bad bet. Seem to be working quite well for this. Because the Vector is a very powerful engine. And again, it's 3 of them are supposed to counterbalance the weight of the 2 giant SRBs on a space shuttle, and even do the last part of the maneuver for the space shuttle. So they're not, they are not feeble engines by any stretch of the imagination. But in fact, if anything, they're a bit too much, as we've seen. So retract the ladder. Don't want that bumping into anything when we redock. But yeah, seems to be going well so far. We'll have to rebalance the fuel, but that's fine. The other lander will fill up gradually. Ready for us to drop it onto lathe. Now, I am a little not quite sure how the lathe re-entry is going to go, because obviously we're going to have on lathe there's going to be an atmosphere that we're going to have to be coping with. But in theory we should be okay for re-entry. It's not very thick. We could use the rocket to slow down because we've got chutes for landing. Our landing site's going to be a bit random, but we're going to have to aim for an actual island. We cannot afford to really land in the oceans, because this thing I don't believe is stable, and also it needs the drills. Because on lathe we are definitely going to have to mine to come back. We don't have a choice in that one. So, rendezvous autopilot. Okay, I'm guessing, yeah, it's going to be a big burn to match inclination, I'm guessing first. Yeah, matching planes. Which I know are near correct, so I'm not surprised it's doing that first. Right, yeah, this is probably another case where I shall skip ahead, because we're running out of time for the actual episode itself at this point. So I'll skip ahead to the point where we're ready to rendezvous and redock. So I'll see you guys again in a moment. Okay, so back for a quick update. The rendezvous pilot is pushing its luck, should we say, with that. I'm gonna let this play out on camera, because I'm like, oh boy, you're getting us close to the surface with that one. Yeah, so here's hoping it doesn't smash us into the ground. I think we're going to skim over it at probably only a few kilometers up, if even that. But yes, I figured you guys would probably want to see this, because I want to see how this is going to turn out. It's trying to raise our orbit a little bit, or lower it. I'm not quite sure which, but either way. Oh yeah, it's 3,000 meters up. Oh, we are low already, and we're not even at the low bit. I don't think. Is this the low bit? Actually, no, this isn't the low bit. The low bit is... I can't even see it. I really hope you've got this right, MacJeb, because you're going to get killed if you haven't. In terms of fuel usage, we're fine. I might even just let it do the rest of this, because we're getting quite close to the right point at this point. But yeah, oh boy. This is the point where I'd be tempted to potentially fiddle things a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. Deploy all except TVA. Keep. Oh, because it's brought us really low again. We actually gained some more science. Oh. No, okay. It's so quick I can't even follow the planet. Jesus Christ. Okay, well I guess we didn't hit it. I guess we didn't hit it because I couldn't even follow it, but we'd have smashed into it long before if we were going to. Oh, 32 kilometers away. We're nearly there. Hey, plan to match velocities. We're nearly there. 1.6 kilometers. Well, maybe not nearly there, but oh, mind you, I might have been looking at the wrong one. I get drifted a little bit at the end of that maneuver. Let's have the lights on for the crew. We've got plenty of charge. This lander is fine. For electric charge, the actual landers are perfectly fine. It's just the main module that's apparently using a lot of power, even just idling. And I'm still not 100% sure what on. I don't think the centrifuge uses that much. The SAS would use some, but it still seems to be not great, even when they're not really working. Or not running very hard, anyway. I don't know. Whether the craft is fighting itself, I think there is a bit of a wobble in the main spine. Could be having some problems. Oh. Oh, we're just there, are we? That was a... I couldn't even quite work out what happened there, but... Sweet, we're apparently there, and it's lagging a little bit, but it's not awful. No, you don't need to do anything else with that. Open the shield. Control from here. Docking port is even on the right side. Excellent. Set as target. We can go away rendezvous autopilot with that. Right. For monopropellant. Oh, of course, yeah, we're fine. I forgot I totally refilled it. It's fine. Right. It's like, oh yes, of course, we can refuel. Yes, I built these landers to be refuelable. That was the right idea. These landers are, I have to say, they've been pretty good. I have not, aside from the one crash landing, which was not the lander's fault, that was the location. They've been quite stable. They've worked reliably. The refueling works, even if their power is a little lower than expected. Probably, really, these would be ideal for somewhere like Moho. They would be ideal for somewhere where they're actually quite close to the sun. They'll get really strong solar power. The radiators should be plenty. I think there is a little bit of excess power in the radiators, so... Yeah, these it's probably a case of right land or wrong planets, if anything. But even then, they can run for some time with the drills on, even with the... without using the power cheek. And again, I know, obviously cheating a little bit, but it's like... The only thing that would be different would be I'd have to keep manually, or even if I action grouped it, but I'd still have to be like constantly shutting the drills off, restarting stuff. Those radiators are not supposed to be out. Let's retract those. Just realised they're going to be wasting power on the main lander. Mind you, it'll gain a bit of power once we reconnect with it anyway. It also helps get them out of the way while we're docking. And I do still like this craft. I know it's had its problems with lag being the primary one and fuel balance being the other. But I still really like the look. I really pleased with how it came out. I've never done I've done multi-part crafts, but I've never done one quite like that. That's also actually worked. So reasonably functionally. So yeah, I've been very happy with this mission overall. Even if it has taken longer in real time than I would like. And again, the frame rate is not too bad. I actually think... I don't know if it's the community pack doing it or the clearing debris. It's probably a bit of both, actually. I do think the frame rate around the ship has improved a little bit. It's still not flawless by any means, but I do think it's better. It might improve a bit more once we actually dock with it as well. I still can't believe we forgot a magnometer. I just remembered that we forgot one of those and that we realised we'd forgotten it. I still can't believe I forgot that because I really like the look of them. They're a nice little small module that grants a lot of science. So how do I keep forgetting these? Oh, there'll be one more. I just thinking as well. There'll be one more thing we'll have to do at the end of this mission, and that will be to gather all of the science up because I have a feeling I'm not quite sure how to collect all this tool is working. But it'll partly be that, and also what I'm thinking is, on the way back, we'll what do you call it? We'll have the lab running. We'll get all three of the scientists back into the lab. We'll have the lab running, and we will. And what I'll do is, I'll do this off camera, but as we travel back, because it'll probably be a few years just in transit, I'll constantly send science whenever it fills up. So we'll get even more science on the way back because it does have a lot of data in there. But we will also be just bringing a lot of experiments just back outright. There's going to be a lot of samples. I think they're going to be a bit cramped in the lander, the lander module, which of course is that part, or the return module, I suppose it was called. I thought we could deflate the heat shield as well, but no, we can't. But that's not really been a problem so far. Right. See what our Delta V does. I reckon our total Delta V will drop back down to maybe 1800. It will definitely drop a bit because we're bringing more weight back with us. We've got a lot of weight and extra fuel and things. We now weigh 67 tons. We're actually heavier than when we set off by a good 17 tons. Not this will be entirely bad because we can load that. Again, we can use it to restock the craft's monopropellant tanks for maneuvers and whatnot because we did burn a lot of monopropellant. We don't need too much to dock. It looks like we've only used about probably about 20-ish by the time we dock, if even that. So it's not like we're critically short on it or anything. It does not take too much oh, mind you, we were a bit lucky though. We were lucky enough to come up on the right side of it, but I also realised we haven't been rebracing this section of the ship, but it doesn't seem to have been a problem either. It's about exactly 20, I think, actually, by the time that we docked. Right. I think that's the place to call it. I hope you've all enjoyed the episode. As I always say, I make games as well as playing them, so if you want to support the channel, check out the ones I've made. There's links in the description. And yeah, I'll see you all next time when we set off to do, well, sort of the same thing again, but we're off to Pole, which is a planet I know almost nothing about, so that's going to be interesting. I'm pretty sure I've been there at some point. I couldn't tell you thing one about it. But yes, until next time, bye-bye.